You guys, why don't we kind of get David Eason out of the way? How do y'all feel about that? That's the first story that we've got on our agenda today. Do you remember? And shout out to my channel members because I posted about this in our special section that I would be talking about it today. But do you remember how I posted about, well, actually, no, for everybody. Do you remember how Janelle, when she was going through her separation, her divorce filings from David, she made some pretty extreme allegations against him. She accused him of purposely running over a puppy in front of Marissa, a lot of horrific acts, locking Kaiser in a running car. And then she also said that he had some sort of disturbing material on, an electronic device, at least one electronic device involving minors. Well, there was a little bit of movement on that, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I think fortunately would mean that this did not happen, right? And I think that is the best case scenario. As much as we dislike David Eason, hearing that, this potentially did not happen is good news. Okay. So shout out to the US Sun for giving us an update on what actually happened with those allegations that Janelle had made against him in June of last year. So the police, they did file a warrant. They plan to seize property from David Eason as part of the investigation. The warrant, it sought permission to search David's person, so himself, property, and vehicle for evidence related to a criminal offense or contraband. The legal services believe that they would find evidence of first-degree exploitation of a minor and second-degree. But despite the warrant, a court clerk confirmed that no charges were filed against David Eason ultimately. So again, just as an FYI, you guys, I think that this means that it wasn't the case. I believe that they went through his hard drive, everything that they could, but they couldn't find any evidence to back up Janelle's claims. So kind of good news there, right? Thank God for that. But he still is facing charges for the alleged strangulation of Jace, FYI, you guys. And that one still doesn't have any information or any updates about what is going on. And also as an FYI, you guys, there was no kind of specific information about who he would have had this material about. And of course, the US Sun is wanting to keep that sort of information private. It is believed that Janelle did name names, but that information is going to remain private for the foreseeable future, as it should, right? Because if anything did happen inappropriate, that Janelle is earnestly reporting, that's traumatic enough for the child in question. But to have that information out in the public sphere would be even worse. So thank God for that. Good morning, Paris. Nice to see you. And actually, $135 is not bad at all, really. And it's 100 level, I'm assuming. That's really good. Brenda says, I have been watching for so long. I wanted to join the chat and support you any way I can. That's so sweet. Thank you, Brianna. That's so amazing. And thanks for being a longtime watcher. Kayla says, that's good. And I agree. Like, this is good news. It means that this did not happen, or most likely did not happen, right? Or did not or could not be proven without a shadow of a doubt. So thank God, that children were not exploited in this manner for what we know, right? Good morning, Jaleesa. So nice to see you. Ronnie says, oh, I pray David gets what's coming to him. Legal/karma. Either way works for me. He is such a vile person. I agree. Don't forget, you guys, he still is facing charges for the alleged strangulation of Jace Van Evans. And so if that did happen, especially remember the rumor had it that this was caught on some sort of a ring cam. So if that did happen, I do hope, like Ronnie says, that the karma would be there for him to face, real consequences for allegedly doing that. And, like Brianna says, you can see in his eyes that this is a very hostile, angry person, just full of really, really bad energy. Courtney says, I would have been surprised. He's awful, but never gave off those particular vibes. I got to be honest, same here. I could imagine him beating children and whatnot. Like, this guy, he's rather rough with children, right? And neglect, these sorts of things. But those allegations, they were kind of shocking. But at the end of the day, you really can never put anything past anyone either at the same time, right? Kayla says she's glad it wasn't true because of children. Same here. Amen. Oh, hey, Lily, welcome to your first live as well. You are in good company. We've got Brianna also here for her first live. And we had someone else who mentioned a little bit earlier that she also was able to finally make it as well. So shout out to, it was Maya. So shout out to my newbies here. So nice to have y'all here. Hey, Shay, nice to have you back, boo. How are you doing? Average Canadian mom, nice to see you again. How are you doing? Tadisha says, Janelle has never picked good men to be her life partner. David, Nathan, Andrew, Cortland, etc. Her children's lifetime therapy is going to be so expensive. Amen to that. And you know what? I think half the equation is what reasonable man is going to want to, tie himself to Janelle Evans of all people, right? I don't think she's able to pull a decent partner because she's just not. I think for a lot of people, unfortunately, your picker can be off and you can pick, but you can bounce back and find a good one. But someone like Janelle, good freaking luck. And you know what, Courtney, your comment reminded me of Jeremy getting caught cheating on Leah on the ring cam. It is true. The ring cam is an unpaid supporting character of Teen Mom scandals. Now, speaking of scandals, why don't we get into Justin Bieber? This time, we're not going to talk about how he's running around town looking a little bit like out of it as if he is having some sort of a rug problem. This time, we got to talk about the clothing brand. Look at the clothing brand that he's wearing right there, Drew. Do y'all remember Drew House? That was his clothing brand, super duper popular, super duper successful. But he recently announced that he was going to be parting ways with the brand. And now we have found out why that is, okay? So shout out to TMZ for the details. Justin Bieber has officially left Drew House to launch his new brand, Skylark. And he says that the Drew House no longer represents him and he really wants to distance himself. Well, he doesn't say this part, right? The streets are saying that the reason being is that Justin truly wants to distance himself from his ex-manager, Scooter Braun. And, I would really love to see a documentary about what the real tea is between Justin and Scooter, because there was a time where Scooter was almost like a surrogate father for Justin. Scooter got all the credit when it came to Justin. Then all of a sudden, poof, gone, persona non grata, like what truly happened there, right? So apparently tension started boiling back in 2023 after a board member of the clothing brand by the name of David Bolno was linked to the death of a singer named Laura Lozano, of which he was later cleared. Justin wanted for David to be removed because it was just way too controversial for him, but Scooter defended David. And so the board for Drew House included Justin Bieber, Scooter Braun, Ryan Good, Judah Smith, and David Bolno, okay? And so aside from this, apparently Justin also felt like he was consistently outvoted when it came to creative decisions. Like he had lost control. They would not go for like the designs, the concepts that he was pitching, and he was becoming increasingly frustrated with that. However, sources from Drew House, on the contrary, are claiming that Justin was never outvoted, and they're completely disputing the story. And now they're saying that the real issue is the drama involving Ryan leaving Church Home and accusing Judah, the other board member, of cult-like behavior. And this is like a rumor that has been following Justin Bieber for a very long time, ever since he got super duper like religious and whatnot, to help get through that really difficult time where he was getting arrested and getting caught up with the wrong crowd. Didn't he and Selena get busted trying to like buy rugs in a bad part of town, allegedly, and whatnot? Then he turned to the church heavily, right? And so this church that he's in, what is it, Hillsong or something like that? It has been accused of being some kind of celebrity mega church cult. And apparently those sorts of things are what were causing discord amongst the Drew House team. So now more insiders from the company say that Justin ghosted Ryan, his former best friend and the best man at his wedding, and abruptly left the company. And they said that Justin screwed over Drew House. And so now Justin Bieber, he wasted no time launching his next project called Skylark, and he has been promoting the hell out of it. And in fact, in his latest promotion for his new brand, what did Justin Bieber do? He posted a video, and in the video, he lights a house filled with Drew merchandise on fire to let people know that he is done. Capital D, capital O, capital N, capital E with the Drew brand. It's always one thing or another with Justin. I can't remember the last time it was simply just like positive news about him. And I find that to be rather sad, you guys. I really do, because, he's celebrating 7 years of marriage, right? He's got this newborn child and everything. His health is in a better place after going through health issues. And yet it's always something kind of like negative and scandalous about him. And so, it's rather disappointing, to be honest with you.